Now available in paperback and Kindle Unlimited. Isis, All That Glitters. The goddess next door takes on a bikini-clad bank robber in this action-packed, all-new Isis series adventure. Get Isis, All That Glitters in paperback and Kindle Unlimited today. One of my viewers told me about the murder of Kenneth Herring down in Georgia, and as I began to take a critical look at the murder of Kenneth Herring by Hannah Payne, I began to see a very disturbing pattern between this murder of Kenneth Herring and Marquise McLaughlin. Now, when I take a critical look at this murder of Kenneth Herring, it was one that clearly was done by this Hannah Payne, who, just like the man who murdered Marquise McLaughlin and George Zimmerman, thought that it was her right to take the law into her own hands. Now, this is a behavior that I noticed in many of these beta males and these beta females. They believe that they have this right to go out here and do the work of law enforcement, all because they have this white skin, and they believe because they have white skin, this makes them the law. Now, in the case of Hannah Payne, your Hannah Payne saw that Herring's pickup truck had hit another car, and instead of this woman just dialing 911 and letting law enforcement do their job, this female decided to take the law into her own hands. And her going to take the law into her own hands is what was criminal in this situation, because when it comes down to incidents like somebody's car hitting another car, then that is usually a job that law enforcement deals with. And as I see it, as related to this whole incident of him hitting that car, that was an issue between that individual who owned that car, that Kenneth Herring, and an insurance company, and it had absolutely nothing to do with your Hannah Payne. But because your Hannah Payne wanted to go out here and try to be the law, this is what led to her going out here and escalating a minor traffic incident into a major criminal event. And this female, because she wanted to go out here and play police officer in the same way that the murderer of Marquise McLaughlin and George Zimmerman wanted to play police officer, this female decided that she was going to go get in her Jeep and then follow this man for over an hour. And when you look at that behavior, that is the behavior of an extremely dysfunctional individual, that you're going to go and get in your Jeep, follow this man for an hour. And that behavior right there, to me, shows malice of forethought, because the average individual, if they were to see an accident, they would not be following an individual for over an hour. They would probably follow for a minute, take out their cell phone, get a picture of the license plate, and then they would go out and contact law enforcement, let them know, oh, this individual got into an accident, they hit this car, and there needs to be something done about this. But in most cases, most people would say, okay, he hit a parked car, so what I'm going to do is let that be between that individual and that other driver and the insurance company, because this is not any sort of real serious criminal activity. But because your beta female, just like your beta male, is delusional in many cases, they believe that they are within their rights to go out here and take the law in their own hands, escalate a minor traffic incident, and then turn it into a major criminal investigation. And they want to go out here and be the cop, and they're going to escalate things. And what this female did, after tailing this man for over an hour, she then decides to confront this man after blocking him in, takes out her gun, they have a struggle, And then this winds up killing Mr. Herring, and it shows, again, malice of forethought as related to this female, Hannah Payne, that she clearly had malice of forethought, and she was willfully and intentionally looking to escalate a situation where she could be some sort of hero, but in actuality was a villain, because she was armed with this 9mm weapon, decides to, after seeing this accident, go out here and tail this man for an hour, when if she has a cell phone, she has every opportunity to just call 911, get the license plate, and then let law enforcement do their job. That is what many would do in that case if it was somebody being injured as a result of this. But it's clear in this situation, it was just a parked car. And again, this was an incident where the car got minor damage, and any insurance company could have easily dealt with this. But because this beta female wanted to play the hero, she wanted to go out here and be this super cop, and she escalated this incident, and this is what led to the murder of Mr. Herring. It led to his murder because this woman willfully and intentionally escalated this incident, and after she escalated this incident, she then and murders him. She runs in her car and changes her clothes and puts on a sweater to make it look like she's this sweet and innocent white girl, when in actuality, she was the one who willfully and intentionally murdered this man, and went out of her way to willfully and intentionally murder this man over a minor traffic stop, because she believed that she was the law. But now, because she wanted to get away with these white men out here in the police department, then she decides she wants to be the sweet and innocent victim, and wants to talk about how she's a good Samaritan and was acting in self-defense, when in actuality, she was the one who started things, she was the one who escalated things, and was the one who went out of her way to make things worse than they actually are. And when I look at this incident, it really shows a disturbing trend as related to these beta males and these beta females, and how most people aren't really taking a look at the big picture as related to them. Because when I look at your George Zimmerman, the man who murdered Marquise McLaughlin, and I look at this Hannah Payne, I see a pattern as related to their behavior, and that pattern is that these people don't really have really good critical thinking skills. They don't know how to use logic and reason. They don't know how to process information, and they don't know how to problem solve, and especially as related to problem solving, because instead of them solving the problem, what they want to do is escalate the problem so that they can appear to be the good person, they can appear to be the hero, when in actuality, it is their behavior that escalates the problem, and it is their villainous behavior that leads to people's losses of life. Because when I look at this situation, it mirrors the exact same situation of the murder of Marquise McLaughlin, where we had this white male who was going to be the security guard over a parking lot that he did not even own, and he was not even hired to police. He's going to go out here and be this guard, and he's doing this all on his own efforts, just getting up every morning to go to somebody else's business and police their parking lot. And the same thing with this Hannah Payne. She's going out here and trying to be a police officer and do a police officer's job, and you're not authorized to do that as a citizen. As a citizen, it is your job to go out here and let law enforcement know what is going on. If it's a minor traffic infraction, again, that's for the police to deal with. But these beta females and beta males, because they are deeply troubled and they really don't know how to solve problems, they make problems worse because they want to go out here and be some sort of hero, and they don't understand that police officers have procedures they have to follow regarding things They don't tail people for over an hour over a minor traffic infraction. They don't pull out their guns to kill people over minor traffic infractions in most cases. And they don't escalate situations, because the job of law enforcement in most cases is to diffuse a situation, and by using their authority try to make a situation where everything ends in an amicable fashion. And that's something that law enforcement, they don't talk about, but these people, because they have been watching so much reality TV, they believe in the fantasy of reality TV. They believe in these incidents where, like, they see on things like Cops and many of these shows, and they want to be that kind of hero. And that's exactly what the person, George Zimmerman, the man who murdered Marquise McLaughlin, and this Payne woman, they all want to be a hero, but in actuality, they don't understand that real heroes solve problems by trying to conflict resolve. They don't sit there and create conflict. They don't escalate conflict. They go out here and diffuse situations. And this female, she didn't know how to diffuse a situation, and she didn't know how police officers work. What she wanted to do was go out here and do law enforcement's job. And as a result of her doing law enforcement's job, this man lost his life, because if he just hit this car by accident, again, that was not for her to get involved with. That was for her to leave the law enforcement. And this woman murdered this man, and then after she murders him, she wants to go out here and make her look like a sweet and innocent victim, when in actuality, she is a villain who needs to be imprisoned for the rest of her life. If you'd like to see me make more videos like this, you can donate to my Patreon by clicking the link in the description box. And I'm trying to raise funds to publish the first ISIS graphic novel. And if you could donate $1 to the Patreon to help me towards that goal, I would greatly appreciate it. And if you want to try some of my SJS Direct publications, you may do so by clicking the link to Amazon.com. That's all I have to say for this video. You can comment, rate, and subscribe.